create and craft the vision and can kind of be the composer, the conductor. And is that something that's exciting? I see you changing your whole.
Oh yeah, no, that sounds like the dream that I want to have, and that's kind of been the thing that I've been searching for, and I've really kind of started to see glimpses of it in the last 3 or 4 months or so.
In today's Jumpstart session from one of our live public coaching calls, we meet a creative who's torn in 2 different directions. One is that he needs to learn everything and do everything so that he can be more confident in selling, but he's not passionate about the things that he'd have to learn in that direction. And then he has the other direction, which is where he is obsessed. And where he is obsessed is where he has the greatest opportunity. And in these sessions, it's always custom tailored to the individual because what fits one doesn't fit all. So let's rock and roll.
But my real goal for my video work is to add a lot of value to businesses.
Okay.
My degree was actually in entrepreneurship and marketing.
Okay.
And so I've been trying to come back to that and figure out, okay, how do I add more value to businesses?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so that's really kind of where video is for me, is something that I can create something that's extremely valuable to a business to help them share their story, to grow their customer base. And again, more so than photography could do.
Perfect. This wonderful magic wand that none of us fully, have, but could potentially create what I'm about to say, which is we had the magic wand that could create and get you to a scenario in your mind that would just be awesome right now, which would be either you're just shooting. Obviously right now, potentially you're not editing, because I would ask you, did you desire to really become a better editor, or is it I would become a better editor by necessity, not by desire? But that idea, like, would you just shoot? Would you actually not even be shooting or editing, but rather meeting with clients and connecting and building relationships, and then potentially having shooters and editors? And take this from a professional aspect. It's kind of that, what would you do if you didn't need money? And just for a minute, remove that, because you said something already, well, I'd have these passion projects. So there's this level, like, just paint that picture for me. If I had you had this random trust fund that gave you $80 million today, and you could have the house, the car, the food, you didn't really have to worry ever about that. Where would your time be being spent? And the thing I always want to say too, to just kind of put you at ease, at least when you're on here with me, there is no shame in what these answers are. It doesn't matter what you want, because my desire for you and for anybody I'm doing this with is to end up getting to that place. Now, depending on what those desires are, what you want, right? Of course, it can take longer than that. It can take 5 years. It can take whatever. But if we can even just start to know where we're wanting to get to, we can start to make decisions that are better aligned with that and get there even faster than when we start to look at what we potentially want and what we're doing. It just doesn't align, because what I don't want to happen for you, and I'll from experience being able to have this, I had a girl who did photography for 5 years, interestingly enough. And she saw me speak. Literally, I didn't have Jumpstarters at the time, but she said, I want to jumpstart video. So she did a training day with me. She thought she was going to come in and learn how to do all the more technical things, or even some business things, which was really what she was going to get out of it, not anything technical. I don't teach that at all. But at the end of the day, she was in tears, because I think she realized the pain and struggle that she just saved, because she said, I just learned today I don't want to do video. And then she came to the realization. I talked to her maybe 2 or 3 years later, and she said she was a co-owner in a CrossFit gym and loving it, and just absolutely loving it. And she was more into actually marketing and doing that stuff. So she was actually more the marketer within the organization, but she was having a blast. And I think that sometimes we start to invest time and energy and effort into something, and because we've bought things or done things or got degrees or whatever it is, we think, well, crap, I got to stick it out. I got to stay with this or whatever. And but at times we're either doing it for somebody else, or family, our friends, our peers, whatever. But my goal is to just get people right to what's right for them and only them. And then from there, everyone around them will flourish, you'll flourish, and great things will happen. So I know that's a lot to take in right there, but what is that? Paint that picture for me, what things would look like for you if you didn't really have to worry about generating any revenue.
Again, kind of transitioning out of photography, it really was something that I wanted to be able to grow and build, to help more clients, to help them at a deeper level. but then also to hopefully provide either jobs for other people and really create a company mindset, or at least an agency mindset.
Okay.
And so the way I kind of see that coming together is if I'm focusing on, again, finding clients that need help, providing kind of a strategy, providing a bigger picture for them. And then if their budget enables them to do so, then going and having freelancers that are better than I could ever be at video, or better than me in other areas, and bringing them on board and making that project happen at a higher level.
Okay, perfect.
So I feel like video is something that I need to be able to know how to do enough of.
Okay.
But I don't know how good I'll ever truly get at it, because I want to focus on the bigger.
What do you spend your time obsessing more over? Like, are you more pumped to learn about all the cameras and the editing software and color grading and all that? Or do you actually
no.
Yeah. Do you spend time studying business and marketing and those aspects of things?
Definitely the business and marketing side. I mean, like when I first started at the beginning of the year, I started in with, okay, what kind of camera? Like, let me learn all the technical stuff. Technical side of things has always come really easy to me.
Sure, okay.
Just kind of naturally clicks with me. So it's just one of those things that I have to choose. Like, am I either going to obsess about it for no purpose, like other than just it's geeking me out, and I'm like, yeah, this is fun. And so I did that with photography. So I kind of learned my lesson there. Like, the more you geek out doesn't always mean you're actually adding value. Like,
sure.
So I tried to focus on taking video and figuring out, like, how does it strategically help grow a business? The things that I still really, I guess, struggle with is seeing like the full potential of it.
Okay.
How to really leverage it best for businesses, just how I kind of fit in with that.
Well, do you like, let me ask this. Do you prefer to, like, do you like connecting, talking to people, interacting, jumping on the phone, having a conversation, going to a potential pitch meeting and you know, having 2 or 3 people there and having the conversation about what that project could be, the vision of the project and what could be done? Is that something that you look forward to doing, or is that something where, okay.
I would say, yeah, it's funny enough, like, I feel like I'm an introvert. So the natural, like, the concept of, oh my gosh, I'm going to be meeting with lots of people and this and that sounds like, oh wait, like maybe that's not what I really am. But then when I actually go and do it, it's so rewarding. I actually just pitched a client, kind of my one main client right now. I pitched her a 6-month retainer because we were doing 4 videos a month.
Cool.
And I just was like, hey, this is a win-win for both of us.
Yeah.
And it was so rewarding to prepare it, to present it, to then have those, like, I'm not gonna say negotiations, but like the nitty gritty conversations as far as like, well,
so did you prepare like a proposal and everything though? Like, did you prepare? And you like
I did. I had like a keynote that I put on my iPad and was able to swipe through it and have the breakdown of the numbers and have the, the impact and, here are the goals and here are the, all those different things.
Sure.
And so, like, that stuff fires me up. Like,
but I'm sorry if I keep probing a little bit. I'm gonna just, if they're okay, permission, just cut off here and there, because I want to just dig at certain things that I'm hearing as I'm thinking. So, absolutely, if you didn't have that at all that preparation you would put into creating kind of the numbers and the breakdown and all that, how comfortable would you have felt?
Probably not very.
Yeah, you need that kind of backup firepower, right?
Absolutely, because I used to consider myself a perfectionist. And so I used to always have to have everything perfect. I've kind of let go of that, but I've learned that there's a balance of, I need to at least do my due diligence and be able to answer what most likely would be a question that a client could ask.
Sure.
And if they hit a point that I'm like, I have no clue, then just be honest and be like, hey, I really don't know. Let me look into that.
Yeah.
But like, that's what my client said at the end of that was like, hey, like, thank you so much for preparing this and taking the time for it.
That's an advantage for you, because it's not an advantage for me. But I think for you, something that's interesting here is that, it seems like there's going to be a leaning in for you more into, definitely potentially hiring people and doing some of that, and you being more that vision, creating the, the vision for the project and what could be possible, and the fact that you can have videography be part of that offering, of course, that you're ultimately selling. But for you to continue to be excited about trying to become you're going to continue to probably feel like that hack from an aspect of shooting or editing, because it's just hard for you to get excited about it. So you're trying to be like, well, I kind of got to, because what else choice do I have but to become a better shooter or become a better editor, or else what am I selling? And so there's that battle there between, I want to be able to offer these organizations great value, but what skills do I have besides knowing what I could tell them and then get excited about it, but then not me to be able to deliver on it, which makes you lose confidence. You're not as powerful in that meeting because you can't deliver on it. That potentially is going to set you up. So right now, this Lone Ranger mentality is something that you didn't like, that you saw before, that you still actually are possessing right now, where you might be at home, you might not be on the road all the time or traveling, but there's still kind of this lonely Lone Ranger that the only person awake, you're taking care of your family, you're taking care of your kids, but waking up, there's no one to talk to about the projects or the things you're working on, and to be able to go and have the meeting and do the presentation and prepare all that, and then have potentially the person you're going to call up who you're going to schedule to shoot, who then you're going to have this person that you can schedule to edit, and then you're going to check, they got 30 hours of editing to spend, and you're going to be checking in throughout, where's it at, how's it going, maybe you send an update, okay, cool, make these tweaks, but you're kind of this person looking at that. Maybe if it's just 2 or 3 or 4 people, but you're looking at these people, you're being able to connect, you're being able to collaborate. They ultimately need you. You need them on a lot of levels, because without you, they don't have any work. And without them, you got to do work you don't want to do. And so, how does that feel to you? Is that something that kind of gets you excited to think, if, again, we took the magic wand and there could be these right people that you trusted that were really excellent at their craft, and you got to go to certain businesses like this lady and create and craft the vision and can kind of be the composer, the conductor? And is that something that's exciting? I see you're changing your whole.
Oh yeah, no, that sounds like the dream that I want to have, and that's kind of been the thing that I've been searching for, and I've really kind of started to see glimpses of it in the last 3 or 4 months or so. It's good to hear that you see that as a good idea too. Yeah. And I think I am someone who does operate a lot on needing validation, or
I get that.
At least something getting the idea that someone else thinks it's a good idea.
Yeah. Don't. There's no shame in there. I can. I ask a lot of opinions of people. So.
And I think I've been scared to do that.
Yeah.
Because there's times where I feel like I have, but I didn't think who I was asking. Yeah. It wasn't somebody who was in a video space or a creative space, let alone an entrepreneurial space. And so a lot of times I've been really let down by the opinions that I get back.
Oh my God.
Not keeping in mind, who is this actually coming from? This person's not qualified to answer the question that I'm asking of them, but I still decided to ask it anyway. And obviously I take full blame for that.
Yeah. And there's that element of I believe the work I'm doing, what we just did on this call, it's not a one size fits all black and white formula or formula that you can just watch a course and go, okay, good deal. There's a level of me believing in you and talking to you, probing you, and a real person's talking to you right now. Not this video has been pre-recorded to be generalized enough to apply to everybody. And even what you're going to do, you're not selling e-commerce. You're not trying to design a website that anybody with a pulse who might need to want video or marketing is just going to hit a buy button. You're going to have that personalized conversation with that client like you did, and put that presentation together and get the data and understand them to be able to come at them with something personalized. And that's different than a one-size-fits-all marketing approach where it's hey, here's these canned background and video that we shoot, and we give everybody the same thing so everybody looks the same. And in this world, if you're that, I really believe you're going to lose. It's a race to the bottom, because you'll feel so much lighter moving forward with some, kind of affirmation that I think things in your head that you probably already believed and wanted are things you should really go after versus having people who don't understand discourage you or encourage you in directions completely irrelevant to what's going to be right for you, because you're more likely to make it a successful business and have something happen when you're doing the right thing for you, not for other people. So anyways.
Absolutely. No, that's so good. And I think kind of taking all that into mind, the thing that I keep kind of coming back to is just, I always have it. It's always easier for me to see a vision for somebody else.
Yeah.
Like when I look at one of my potential clients, I'm like,
Sure.
man, you got so many great things going on. Like we can take this and make that and do this and like put all these together. And that's when your customers, like this was what resonates with your customers. Like it'll be awesome. But then when I sit down and like figure out, okay, well, what's my vision? Like that's the one that I struggle so hard to find. And so I think by looking for outside, I guess,
support.
Validation,
Validation, support.
Yeah. It's almost like clouded me on that. Yeah. Because again, based on who I'm asking, at least.
Yeah.
Because again, I realize they're not a qualified opinion.
Man,
in what I'm asking.
we're on the same page.
Because it's a lot of times it's like, family and they have never had their own business. They need that. I guess the thing I don't know if it's a question or maybe I'm just asking for like,
no.
Asking for, what's that action step? Like, maybe that's what I'm asking. But I'm scared based on my past with not focusing on something and like just seeing it through.
People who get paid the most are the people who are doing what you're doing at the top of the food chain is the way I look at it. The person who's able to see the entire strategy of a website, the design, the photography, the video, the advertising, how all the components connect, how they interlock, how they work, the messaging, and then is able to kind of orchestrate that and make sure that they've got trusted. So you're the top tier trust potentially, and you're able to go, yeah, I can see what's happening here on the website and the design. We're making these great videos, but when they come over here, they're dropping off and your conversions are going, you're getting a high click-through rate over to your website, but then you're losing like 98% of the people. And I know we could get that to where you're only losing 60%. Look what that could do to convert the sales. So when you're able to kind of see that vision, that's worth a lot. I see you smiling again, excited as you start to.
Again, it's good to hear kind of that validation because I've always been very hesitant to think of myself as like that top of the chain of an organization kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I always had felt like I had to be doing something that was very tangibly like, here's what I'm giving you that's adding value.
Yeah.
And so when I think of it as like that big picture, it's like, wait, I can add so much more value and I'm helping produce all these components in the chain, not necessarily the one who actually sits down and does each one of those things.
So all your obsession, and people are going to win where you're obsessed. So your obsession with marketing and strategy and all that aspect, that is if you trust and believe in yourself for that, that is where you'll win. It's in thinking that you're less than, that you got to go do this other stuff because you'll look better in the eyes of other people because you don't look lazy per se because you're not the one doing that. Why don't you just do it? You can do it. You can keep more money if you do it. But the people I've seen and connected with who are what your vision is and what you want, I mean, they do from a financial level do better than anybody who's just doing any single task if they can truly see that through. And again, there's no right or wrong, but I talk to people all the time who are, one I've coached for years and never fully did he have the trust in himself or break through to quit his job that had nothing to do with what he wanted to do. And he kept trying to be what your vision is. And it wasn't working. And then he finally, I'm like, dude, you always talk about editing. All you want to do is edit. And he finally is like, I'm betting on myself. I'm going to believe in myself. And he was a whole different person. Within 2 weeks, he quit within 2 weeks, he got 2 opportunities for editing positions. Within a month, and this was just about a month and a half ago, he quit his job. He's an assistant editor on a Netflix documentary series. He's making double the money he had at his job. And the first day of work, at the end of the day, he sent me a message. He said, I guess this is what it's like to never work another day in your life. But he was in struggle for years. Now, he had the preparation in the editing because he did spend more time with editing than he did on these other aspects. But it was like that fish climbing a tree. He just wasn't the person who was going to manage people, see the vision, create all that, be interested in ads. He just wanted to get in front of the computer and edit, which he'd be a guy, right? He'd be a guy that you need on the team because he's pumped to just sit and edit. You're not. So see how that all starts to connect. And when you align with that, dude, magic, I get on tangents, but it's just like magic happens and I can't. So man, hopefully that's a level of to start how to jumpstart that affirmation, that kind of boost. Now this is still going to take work because you're going to get in the real world and people and opinions and friends and family are going to continue to be there and your old thought patterns are going to be there. But your ability to trust yourself, to trust your gut, to trust your instinct will be your greatest asset to accelerate the fact that some people might not understand you, they might not get you, they might not see the vision that you see. But if you allow them against your better judgment to distract you, you can be guaranteed that this will take a lot longer, because that's what happened to me. It took a hell of a lot longer because I didn't trust myself, and these people did not get my vision. I felt very misunderstood. It's not to their fault either. Yeah. Like you said earlier, it's just as much you that allowed yourself to take these opinions and this advice. But if you seek that and you seek it against other people that just don't understand, and you keep wanting to listen to that, it's going to take you a lot longer than it needs to take. So anyways. Awesome, man.
Well, thanks, Michael. You've been awesome, dude. Seriously, thanks so much for doing this.
If you'd like the opportunity to be coached like this, click the link in the description to attend a future Jumpstart session, or click here to watch the next breakthrough happen.